year 2039. Gotham City has no heroes. Its people, no hope. Its youth, no future.
Evening, boys and girls. Who's up for some laughs?
Terry McGinnis was part of the problem.
Right there.
You can't control your temper, and you'd better if you expect to get anywhere in life.
Yeah, I'll be a big success, just like you.
Until a moment of violence brought him to the door of a man named Bruce Wayne.
Let's put a smile on his face.
Leave him alone. Once known as the Batman.
Man, you're something. You okay?
Now, the Dark Knight will rise again to drive the shadow of evil from the streets of Gotham. Let's go! Supervillains, beware! There's a new Batman in town. Batman Beyond. Weeknights at 6:30.
You're pretty strong for some clown who thinks he's Batman.
I am Batman. Justice returns to Gotham.
Welcome to my world.
Only Toonami. The land of Eternia is a paradise with a problem. An act of betrayal has created the ultimate evil. My face! And his name is Skeletor.
Eternia will be mine! Battle position!
The only thing that can stop his evil horde is a legend no one believes in.
A hero shall worship.
And a prince with an attitude.
All this battle training is just fun and games.
Now, a sword will choose its master. A boy will become a man. And a hero will be born. Toonami is proud to present He-Man like you've never seen him before in an all-new original movie. Masters of the Universe. Next Friday at 4. Only Toonami.
4 turtles, mutated beyond recognition. For 15 years, the brothers hid in the sewers, training in the ancient ways of the ninja.
You cannot simply walk amongst the humans.
But we can certainly fly. Woohoo!
Now the teenagers finally surface, but the welcoming committee isn't quite what they expected.
Prepare to battle, costume fools.
We're not wearing costumes.
Don't miss the world premiere of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Saturday, February 8th, 10:30 a.m. Only in the Fox Box.
The original Justice League has become a memory.
I am resigning from the Justice League.
What's gonna happen to the League now?
We rebuild. From the ashes of that great conflict, a new team has arisen. A much, much bigger team.
Each of you brings something different to the table.
Old friends, new heroes. And as usual, plenty of bad guys jumping up to get beat down.
Calm down, and I'll let you go. How about you kiss my ass?
Watch out, evildoers. There's nowhere to run, because this year they're all around you. The League is unlimited. Toonami presents an all-new original series, starring every superhero worth cheering for, and then some. Justice League Unlimited, premiering July 31st at 8:30 p.m.
Now where am I exactly?
Among friends.
There's strength in numbers. Only Toonami.
In a future where anyone could be a cyborg, cops are a little different. The legendary cyberpunk classic finally comes to television in an all-new original series, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. New episodes every Saturday night at 12:30. The future is now.
Every night around the world, the children sleep, unaware of danger lurking in the shadows. But this night, a strange tune floats on the wind, and the children, one by one, begin to disappear.
I wonder where she could be going.
They are taken to a land of sweet memories and used to power an evil that feeds on their dreams.
My wonderful black dream hole is consuming dream energy from children.
Now, it's up to Sailor Moon and the Sailor Soldiers to put an end to this nightmare. This time, they're gonna need a little help.
Sailor Neptune!
Sailor Moon Super S, next Friday at 5:30. Dream on.
The children!
Only Toonami.
This place is a town of forgetfulness.
40 years ago, everything we knew was destroyed. The face of the planet changed forever.
There isn't anyone who really knows exactly what did happen.
The survivors left without memories. In the aftermath, a new society has formed.
I perform a much-needed job here in the city of amnesia.
In Paradigm City, the rich close themselves into giant domes, while the poor must live without protection. But one man stands for something more, and he does it in serious style.
As a professional, I just try to do my best.
His name is Roger Smith, the Negotiator.
Try this.
Goes against my principles, but I don't have a choice.
His allies, an android, a butler, and Big O.
It's showtime!
When they start a job, they always see it through.
Rest in peace! Bye-bye!
Enemies of Paradigm City, beware. There's a new robot on the block.
You're not going anywhere! You crazy little fool! You're gonna get yourself killed! Time to finish this!
We can't stay here if we do.
It ends it once and for all!
Big O, weekdays at 5:30. Good guys still wear black. Only Toonami.
The destruction of Unicron has created a black hole, which threatens to swallow the planet.
Let's go!
Now, the Autobots' only hope is to find the ancient planet keys.
Prepare for battle!
But as usual, the Decepticons aren't playing along.
Beat it, Megatron! Oh, really?
Transformers Cybertron. New episodes, Saturdays at 7. Unlock the power.
Gotcha!
Only Toonami.
From beyond any known galaxy, bringing with them the laws and ideals of their doomed planet Thundera, come the Thundercats. Jaka, the wise. Tigra, the invisible. Chitara, the quick. Wily Cat and Wily Kit, a cunning junior duo. Patrol, the deadly. And the Snarf. The Thundercats, all sworn to serve their young lord, Lion-O, and to instruct him in the secrets of the Eye of Thundera. the eye embedded in the hilt of the mystic Sword of Omens, and the source of the Thundercats' power.
Thunder, 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 Thundercats! Ho!
Pursuing the Thundercats to Third Earth, and determined to possess the Eye of Thundera for their own evil purposes, are the hideous mutants of the planet Plundar, led by the reptilian Sly. They form an unholy alliance with the ageless devil priest of First Earth, Mumra.
Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Hello, dear viewers. I hope you're all doing well today. It has been quite a week indeed. And yes, my audio is actually on this time. I know. So, we've got some interesting things to talk about today, but first, as always, what do we do, chat? What do we do every time we start a stream? Come on, you guys should know by now. Tell me, what is it we do every time we start a stream? It's gonna take a while for the chat to catch up, I guess. Housekeeping! Belstigel got it right. I don't know why, but Nord keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. Let me try something real quick. Boop. Data rar. See here. Julie, cook your ground beef. There we go. All right, so. Doggone it. Well, come on. All right, so. Sorry, the temporary disconnect. That was due to me resetting the VPN, so it's all good. All right, so. Housekeeping, correct. Now, as of last stream, right, we were making fun of Pedo Sacramentan, Purple Sacramentan, whatever you want to call him. And he handled it about as well as you can imagine. Firstly, he, of course, came in right as the stream was ending to claim his innocence, even though there's no way he is, and we've proven that multiple times. But also, him and his friends are still melting down, still making videos, still tagging, still obsessing, and it's really funny because they're used to people capitulating when they're doxxed or when they're swatted or whatever. And that's not working on me, so they kind of ran out of tricks. And they don't know how to do it. So it's really funny. But he also released two things. He released a song. We're not going to watch any of this time, I'll be very clear. But he released a song. It's amazing. You need to listen to it. And a 8-minute video ranting once again about all of that. It's amazing, right? Maybe we'll look at it one day. I'm not sure. I've already done 2 streams on the guy. I'm not the type of guy who just constantly farms content, right? I'm just not that type of guy. It is funny, though. But what are we talking about today? Well, for those of you who are longtime listeners of the channel, you'll probably remember somebody by the name of Kenny, a.k.a. Cousin Kenny, who runs a toy store and who wound up having some beef with the guys at Valaverse because he's a dickhead. Kenneth Kopnick was his name. Now, that stream's infamous. Okay, Raccoon, you're the only one talking about my audio stuttering, so you might want to just reset. So, it's an infamous stream because it's the first stream Peaches, crashed in and just started talking a bunch of smack, not knowing a single thing that was going on. So, it didn't exactly age well in that aspect. But I do not regret bullying this individual. Because what Kenny was doing was he was intentionally aggravating and antagonizing Bobby Vala, Tony Roberts, and a whole slew of other people. A whole slew of other people who worked for the Action Force brand. Because ultimately, he's butt mad that Hasbro let the Action Force IP lap. Bobby got it, and that just makes this grown man butt mad for some stupid reason. Now, what was happening behind the scenes that I didn't say, and I did know. We're not going to go into involvement there. What I did know is that Bobby Valla had enough of him, because this guy wasn't just being critical of a toy line. We're even being just critical of Bobby. The dude was actively like harassing him and defaming him and doing a whole slew of things. So Bobby hit him with a lawsuit. And it has been ongoing for years now. And in this lawsuit, hold on. Hey, UTTP pedos, we're not even talking about your little pedo friend. Piss off, piss off. But I mean, if you guys keep coming back, we're just going to keep talking about Purple. In fact, we'll A-log him. We will A-log him like he tried to A-log everybody else until he finally quits and exits this mortal coil. Your choice. But anyways. So, the reason why Kenny here has been quiet is because right after my stream, he nuked all of his stuff. Like he deleted his videos, he deleted his social, he ran. Because he knew something was wrong. And then, he gets the paperwork that's like, serving him. And he has been trying to fight this lawsuit for a couple years now. In fact, let me go ahead and just double check something. I want to double check something real quick. I'm going to get the exact time frame. Let's go to live. Let's find Kenny. And my papa. That was on October 5th of 2023. So over 2 years. For over 2 years, he has been dealing with this. Well, what's the fallout of that, right? Well, let's take a look. On to the reading screen, chat. Hello, chat. I hope you're all doing well today. So, actually, let me make sure Wave 4 is underneath the border. Ah, that makes the autism happier. Let me just double check. I can make that smaller. I don't even know if we need that anymore. We're going to go ahead and make the Wave 4 thing go away temporarily, just in case. Boop. I'm actually going to reposition the tablet screen. So, one moment. And even then, the VPN wants to be stupid. That's fascinating. Boop. Can it? I don't know if I can do that. Let me try something else. What is it moving? I promise I'm a professional. A professional moron. There we go. I don't like having the bars showing. Anywho, so, what is Kenneth Kopnick doing? Well, he has decided the best way to respond to a lawsuit is to, well, ask for money to defend against it. Now, you can say what you want overall about things like that. If you need help, you need help, right? But it's a bit different with this, right? And I know I'm going to get some heat from different people. Maybe not people within my circles necessarily, although I'm sure Vlad's going to take one look at this, call everybody gay, and want everybody to die, because that's just who Vlad is. But when you take your butt hurt and you run your mouth and you try to actively go at somebody, I mean directly, as a person, like I'll talk about Brian Flynn all day long and his business behavior. I'll talk about that all the time. But like as a person, like on a personal level, other than calling him a wuss, I don't care, right? I mean, he's from California. There's only so much I can expect. This dude has been directly antagonizing Bobby. Even at conventions Bobby's gone to. Now, I am all about that. Pulling up on people that are being stupid and having words with them. I don't care where it is. But there's a difference between having words with somebody and just actively antagonizing. And that's what Kenny here did. So, what is Kenny doing? I know I'm rambling, but what is Kenny doing? He is asking for financial help on GoFundMe, recovering from an unjust lawsuit. Unjust? Well, let's find out. Read more. Let's read more, chat. My name is Kenneth Kopnick, but you might know me as Cousin Kenny, a store manager, family man, friend, and active member of the action figure collector community. I hate that. It's a pain in the butt. On April 4th, 2024, toy tuber Bobby Vala and his toy company Valaverse LLC sued me for alleged defamation. This is a civil action under... Well, hold on. Okay, UTTP. I guess I'll be streaming about your boy again, and I'm going to be making fun of him more since you don't want to learn. Anyways, this is a civil action under state law for defamation, libel, slander, and defamation per se. False light, invasion of privacy, civil liability for criminal acts, telecommunication harassment, and deceptive trade practices. You can read the file lawsuit in its entirety here, Robert Valor versus Kenneth Kopnick. So, let's clickety-click. I got it. Let's zoom in, everybody. So, this was electronically filed. All right. The Court of Common Pleas, Montgomery County, Idaho. But who to pimp? Rumor is a pipe blown by surmises, jealousies, conjectures, and of so easy and so plain a stop that the blunt monster with uncounted heads, the still discurrent wavering multitude, can play upon it. To speak evil of anyone, unless there is unequivocal proofs that are deserving it, is an injury for which there is no adequate reparation. Well, that's kind of cool. Nature of action. Now, we're going to go through all this, right? Now, I do not have a law degree. I am not going to give anybody legal advice. I studied criminal law because it was really fascinating to me, but that's about it. All right? I want to be very clear. Very clear. Nature of action. This is a civil action under state law for defamation, libel, slander, and defamation per se. False light, invasion of privacy, civil liability for criminal acts, telecommunication harassment, and deceptive trade practices. Now remember, he only quoted this part. This is all Keeney quoted when he was talking about this civil tort, right? So far. Now let's take a look. Now, these claims were without merit, and I believe the lawsuit was a slap suit. So we're going to read all of this. Maybe not. We're going to go back and forth on this. So, what is a slap suit? A slap suit, a strategic lawsuit against public participation, is a lawsuit often based on a claim of defamation filed to intimidate and silence critics rather than win on the merits of the case. These lawsuits are used to burden opponents with the high cost of legal defense, effectively punishing them for speaking out on matters of public interest, even if the original claim is baseless. Well, that's fascinating. Many states have passed anti-SLAPP laws to help defendants fight these cases more effectively and potentially recover their legal fees. Unfortunately, at the time Bobby filed his lawsuit against me, no such anti-SLAPP law existed in Ohio. Skill issue. Ohio did pass an anti-SLAPP law on January 8th, 2025. Oh, man. The timing. That's embarrassing. To become the 35th state to enact an anti-SLAPP statute. The lawsuit and surrounding circumstances. So again, we're going to read all this simply because I have a feeling he's not I'm being honest. I believe this lawfare, okay, that was actually clever, instead of warfare, lawfare, was intended to silence my public lampooning of a public figure in my community by draining my financial resources. Now keep in mind, these are the same losers who lose their mind when you call someone a shill or you make fun of other public figures that make the toys they like. They can't handle it, but if they do it, suddenly it's okay. These types of legal threats and lawsuits are intended to have a chilling effect on free speech. So he's going to try to make a free speech argument. Because every single moron who winds up getting in these situations tries to make it like some call to action for the safety of free speech, where individuals become afraid to speak out. Although the details of Bobby's slap suit focused on 2 videos I posted on YouTube, more on that later, Bobby had previously, on August 21st, 2021, sent me a cease and desist order where he threatened to sue me for content on my Kennyverse website that included humorous memes and a parody Kennyverse t-shirts and apparel. So, why is he doing that? Right? Why is he doing that? Well, the truth of the matter is that while he's going to later on try to make a claim for hypocrisy here. But Kenny took a logo, altered it, and then sold it, right? Now, one can have an argument about intellectual property there. It can be very, very messy to be as clear as possible. So, let's click on the cease and desist letter. We're doing a lot of reading today, chat. Thankfully, this one's a little smaller. I don't know why he's censoring his address. Like, it's out there. Who cares? So, keep in mind, he was sent this for using somebody's logo and selling that merchandise, right? And one would think, maybe I shouldn't do this, right? Notice 1, cease and desist. 2, infringement of intellectual property. 3, defamation, case, firm, yada yada. Please be advised that we represent the interest of Bobby Vala, individually, and his respected brand Valaverse, Steel Brigade, and Action Force, hereinafter collectively client, with regard to your infringement of our client's intellectual property rights and your defamation of Mr. Vala and his respective brands. It has come to our attention that you are making unauthorized use of Mr. Vala's likeness and image to further that you are using the Valaverse, Steel Brigade, and Action Force name and logo marks for the purpose of publicizing and commercializing your own parody brand, Kennyverse, under fair use doctrine or the First Amendment. So, it's recognizing the claim he's already going to try to make, right? So, what did they say afterwards? After a thorough review of your website, Kennyverse.com, and the contents therein, we are clear that your website and the content therein fall afoul of the protections granted by the First Amendment and the Fair Use Doctrine. Your site and the illustrations, content, and images are satires at best and are not afforded the same protections as parodies. And it's citing law here, right? Campbell versus Cruff Rose Music. I actually don't know what's being talked about here, obviously. Further, your use of our client's actual logos and toy images are infringements of our client's intellectual property rights. Our client does not authorize your use of said images and marks. Our client expressly and explicitly reserves all rights to their intellectual property and the use of the same with any and all mediums. Your use of our client's name, image, likeness, logos, or toy images without permission or authorization, commercially or otherwise, is a willful infringement of our client's rights. We demand that you immediately cease and desist from using our client's image, likeness, and any other intellectual property in any and all forms or mediums, and further, you destroy any work, video, or document that contains his name, image, likeness, the logos, or any other intellectual property, and further, you desist from this or any other infringement of our client's rights in the future. Could you have at least centered this, Kopnick? Please, at least center the doggone thing you're scanning, you doofus. As part of our investigation and inquiring into this matter, we've also reviewed all the content of your website. Okay, so to determine if the same is defamatory, defamation. After a thorough review of the content and related images, we are of the opinion that you intentionally communicated false statements in an effort to publicly subject our client to hatred, distrust, ridicule, contempt, and disgrace, which, frankly, go back and watch the original stream, he absolutely did. Further, it is our belief that you did the same in an effort to damage and injure our client in his trade, profession, and standing in the toy manufacturing community by creating a false impression that he steals his toy character ideas, names, and designs, more commonly referred to as false light or defamation by implication. So, if you have a platform and you make this type of claim to a business, brother, you better bring the receipts, because that actually can affect business. That can affect their relationship with production companies. And it says like the toy manufacturing community. I don't inherently think that's about like independent writers or not writers, independent creators. I'm thoroughly convinced. I'm pretty sure this is about the people who physically produce the toys, the factories and whatnot, because factories don't want to work with people who might bring them some irritation, to say the least. So, the content on your website of and concerning our client make it very clear, in our opinion, that your actions were calculated, intentional, and motivated by malice. You have intentionally made vague and unsupported remarks and allegations concerning Mr. Vala and his respective brands, and you have intentionally, knowingly, and maliciously communicated defamatory information of and concerning our client and his brands to third parties by way of your website. The pedophiles are still mad. Fantastic. Defamation per se has special rules for tort litigation, and statements are presumed harmful as a matter of law. Further, the law presumes malice when, as is the instant case of per se defamation, is inherently damaging, making it unnecessary to prove express malice and making damages conclusively presumed to exist. In addition, the defendant may be subject to punitive damages even when there is no provable evidence of actual damages. Defamation law considers protecting a person's reputation paramount and provides substantial remedies, in particular, for per se defamation. It should also be noted that our client is not a public figure As such, we would not need to prove actual malice or a reckless disregard as to whether a statement is true or false in a potential defamation action. This letter shall serve as a condition precedent for our filing of a copyright infringement action and defamation lawsuit against you. If you do not remove the defamatory content and the copyright infringement content from your website and further send a written apology to our satisfaction within 7 days of your receipt of this letter, or you elect to ignore this letter, we shall pursue this matter to the fullest extent permitted by law, and we shall seek actual damages, compensatory damages, punitive damages, attorney's fees, costs, and whatever other and further relief a court of competent jurisdiction may grant. You are further hereby directed to preserve all electronically stored information, copies, and backup as defined by Rule 34 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Finally, a Rule 34 that makes sense. Along with any paper files which you have or you collected or maintain which are relevant to this dispute. Mr. Vala and or his respective brands will be seeking in discovery electronic data in your custody and control that is relevant to this action. Keep this one in mind. Including without limitation emails and other information contained on your computer systems and any electronic storage systems. We consider this electronic data and paper files records to be valuable and irreplaceable sources of discoverable information in this matter. You are hereby put on notice to preserve all documents regarding Mr. Vala and his respective brands and or any communication concerning Mr. Vala and or his brands. In addition, you are hereby put on notice not to allow the deletion of any electronic communications, such as emails relating to Mr. Vala or his brand. Now keep in mind, this is all of this is not about just basic talks with his friends. This is not about telling somebody how your kid's doing in a soccer game. This isn't about where you're going to meet up for beers later. This is about his conversations involving his harassment of Bobby Vala, essentially. Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to these losers, it's never just one. These idiots roam in packs. And they've proven that. So, the purpose of this is to get evidence for the other things they might be doing behind the scenes. We further trust that you will continue to preserve such electronic data and paper files throughout the contemplated litigation. From this point forward, you are directed to cease any and all communications with our client or his respective brands, and you are directed to communicate only with our office. Now, this is not a fake thing. This is not a Google Doc cease and desist. You're a real one if you remember that. What this is a legitimate cease and desist sent by an actual attorney's office. And now, what did he do? Did he abide by this? No, because everything we talked about in the last stream in 2023, he did after this. So, for those of you not familiar with Bobby, he is an independent toy maker producing action figures using trademarks like Action Force and Steel Brigade. He's also, quite ironically, an extremely vocal critic of other toy lines and toy makers. I personally find it deeply hypocritical that he was so upset over a parody t-shirt. At one point, he demanded that I recall and collect all Kennyverse shirts that had been purchased and shipped to others. Evidence? Maybe we'll see it in the other one. When he himself had previously worn a parody Subpar 7 t-shirt of the toy company, Super 7, when he criticized the company in a YouTube video. It's funny when he does it, but a crime when other people do it, you sold it. To my knowledge. I believe this video has subsequently been removed from YouTube, so he got a screen cap and nothing more. Look, this, alright, if this is just for personal use, maybe Super 7 could go after him, but he's not selling it. Kenny was selling his stuff. That's the problem there. As a strong believer in free speech and fair play, he's not, by the way. That's why this guy loses it when he's made fun of. I continue to point out that I viewed as hypocritical behavior using memes, a communication I, and many others, found humorous and entertaining. That's argumentum ad populum. You can murder a man in cold blood on the street. A lot of people could agree that it's good or that it's fine. It doesn't mean it's not breaking the law. Many of these memes were a direct response to Bobby's own public behavior, such as this post from the Valorverse Facebook group. So let's see what this post is. Legions of Valorverse. Disclaimer. Can I zoom? Yes. Disclaimer. If you are offended easily and can't handle someone standing up for themselves, then move along. This post is not for you. Your comments are not needed either. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Eric Arana. He's blocked me, otherwise I'd tag him. Eric is what you call a useless human and waste of oxygen. Just like a neutered dog, Eric has no balls. I need to up my game. Eric is your typical douchebag that attacks people for not liking his views. Eric thought he was being clever and snarky with his post yesterday about the new Mattel Sergeant Slaughter figure. Unfortunately, he failed miserably. Eric is insinuating that the Action Force Sergeant Slaughter is an imitation. Well, dummy, I have contract with Sarge, so it makes it pretty real. Why don't you go tell Sarge that you think his Action Force figure is an imitation? Oh wait, you're a coward with no balls and would never do that. Let me see if I can find a certain clip. Let me see if I can find it. Go away. Actually, that's Unsolved Mystery. I didn't watch more of that. I need to get this on hand, really. Man, really? Nobody's just clipped that? I'm actually upset by that. There's a clip from Devil Artemis where it's just Kermit screaming "no balls," and I was hoping to find and play that, but I can't. The funny part is that he's calling me the AF version. Is he calling the AF version an imitation? Yet he's referencing a Marvel WWE figure posing as the G.I. Joe version. Who's the imitator now? Unlike the name of your line, I am no hack and made a new version without ripping off anything. So it's also important to contextualize. The individual he is speaking to right now is a fellow toy maker, right? If I'm not mistaken, hacks is... let me double check. I'm pretty sure hacks are the same people who are boss fights. Let me see here. Pretty sure they're the same thing. Let me see. Because they actually did a Phantom toy line I was looking at, and then I'm like, nah, it looks bad. Welcome to the stream, guys. Half of it's research, half of it's reading. Yes. So, Hacks is a subset that he does of toy lines. The company is Boss Fight Studio. So, he is directly responding to a toy maker, right? Toy maker. Also, the godfather of G.I. Joe, Ron Rudat, doesn't find this figure compelling. Okay, ow. That's gotta be insulting. Like, unironically, Ron Rudat is the, G.I. Joe guy in terms of iconography and character design. Larry Hama is, the character person, right? He didn't draw them, to my knowledge, but he wrote the characters and he put up their bios and whatnot. But Ron Rudat, if you know the Cobra logo, brother, that was Ron Rudat. That man knows what he's doing, and he doesn't even find us compared. That, dude, I'd quit. I'd quit. I would quit. I'd be crying in the corner. Like, why? Anyways. Why don't you go tell Ron he is wrong? Maybe all this is totally understandable. I have a line that is just starting out and is at over $1 million in sales, while this company does dead licenses. I'm sure those Popeye and Flash Gordon sales are really covering the tooling. They're not. I have the Flash Gordon figure. Actually, no, I don't have his Flash Gordon. I have a NECA, so it's better. But I haven't been impressed by anything Boss Fights put out. Even their Battletoads line, had to be shuttled around. Or maybe he was just upset that he uses the same factory as me. Ooh. And that's what we're talking about here, right? This is what Bobby is talking about when he says the community of toy collectors, because if he's using the same factory and this dude's talking trash, that could affect him, right? That's a problem. Either way, Boss Fight will be out of business soon, but don't worry, you can have a job cleaning the toilets at Fallivers. Simultaneously, Walmart's always hiring. Keep poking that bear, douche. One day you will be face to face with that bear and nothing will save you. Now go and wipe your tears with your Hawaiian shirt as you wake up every day realizing Action Force is real, it's mine, and it's destroying everything you do. Now again, this is the guy who runs Boss Fight Studios crying bitter tears, running his mouth, saying, oh, it's a fake, it's not real, yada yada. Bobby had a right to defend himself on this. It's literally trashing in the dumbest way possible. I will sit there and I will dog on Super 7 all day long. I will point out that their tooling sucks, their molds suck, their paint suck, everything they do, whack. Right? Their accessories, whack. Their packaging, whack. Their price point, whack. What I don't do is say, these aren't real Thundercat figures. This is a bootleg, a fake, an imitation. No, it's still real. It just sucks. So, that's what he is trying to compare. to him running his mouth, as though those are same things, right? Some examples of his memes. Okay. Let me know if any of you actually find any of this funny. I mean, did he just use the burn tool? Is that just the burn tool? He's not bad draftsmanship. You're probably a loser if you go to this extreme, though. Unlike the name of your line, I am no hack, and made a new version without ripping anything off starter pack, and none of this is a rip-off of anything. Some people need to learn what words mean. I mean, he owns certain things. It was not a rip-off inherently. Some people are just... Cocaine's bad, okay? Though my memes are admittedly childish and silly, I believe I should be free to comment on what I view as bad behavior in a collector community I truly adore. Now, keep in mind, he thinks this is about memes, right? So we're going to see in that lawsuit, in a bit here, if memes are mentioned. On June 25th, 2022, after hours at a toy collector show, Bobby was very upset at me for wearing a parody t-shirt of the Palatoy Action Force logo that said Legal Action Force. Now, here's what we call, ladies and gentlemen, a self-made prophecy. So, here's the fun thing about that, right? It wasn't just because he was wearing the shirt. It's because this dude has been an absolute dickhead for years over action figures in the dumbest way possible. Because he's not criticizing the toy line, right? He's just mad Bobby has something he liked. That's all it comes down to. They even culminated in him and his friends tracking me down for a verbal exchange in a hotel lobby. Oh no! Not words! Heaven to Betsy! I just lost my nose piece from my glasses. Well, I am undone. I'm going to die. I actually think I did lose it. Uno momento, chat. Because it's going to irritate me if I don't. The autism is strong tonight. Well, at least this time it's not some weirdo making the stream lose any power to it. It's me losing a nose piece. Don't go blind, chat. I don't recommend it. Awful experience. Screw it, we'll do it live. I'll get to it later. I shan't hamper the stream further. Anywho. I later made a video about it, explaining the events from my point of view. The response to this video was intense. I was falsely attacked by Valaverse supporters on social media. Hi! I'm sorry, Kenny. Are you mad about my stream, buddy? You want to put some aloe vera on that? Maybe go see somebody about it? Talk to a therapist? You'll be okay. As were friends of mine. Brother, you have friends? I would love to see... You see, the thing is, he's sourced, like, memes, right? And a screen cap from Bali Valley. Can I see? Can I see the evidence of your friends being attacked? Because I thought you were criticized. I mean, I didn't show up at your house and egg it. I didn't tell people to, like, report bombed your channel. I bullied you on a live stream because you're a loser. Evidence, please? Evidence? 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 Bobby Vallo, once again, directly pressured a showrunner to ban me from a convention. Bobby's ultimatum failed and Valaverse pulled from the convention. Gee, I wonder why. Hey, this guy's been harassing me for years, and if he's going to your show, I'm not going to go there. This is not some massive, like, horrible thing. I'm sorry you lack scope. A Valaverse supporter contacted my workplace. You work for yourself, you moron! And stated that he would not be a customer because they employed me. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he doesn't work for himself. I could have sworn he did. I was thinking of visiting your store until I find out that POS Kenny worked for you. And? And? What's the issue here? Brother, I hope the UTTP doesn't find out who you are. Like, I know they're too busy focusing on me right now, but if you think that's bad, you don't actually know what harassment is. Yeah, a random loser called and said he won't shop at my store. This is harassment. I had an unsettling encounter at a convention that raised concerns for my family. Ooh, let's see if we have any evidence here. Experiencing this on... So you don't even tell us what it is? I mean, he could have just ran into a random, unironic clown who, like, made a weird balloon for his kids or something. This is the problem I have with this type of nonsense. Don't do this. Don't do the, I'm going to vague talk about it, and I'm going to let you fill in the gaps with your imagination to imagine the worst of things. So I'm just going to assume, like, a foot ninja popped up and did some nunchaku tricks and then, like, backflipped into the alleyway, and you became scared about it. That's my headcanon, and it should be everybody's headcanon. Experiencing this ongoing series of events motivated me to delist my entire YouTube channel from YouTube. Dude, it took you a day. Come on. A single day. And you did that. This has absolutely nothing to do with ongoing harassment. You unlisted it the next day. So unless all these events happen in a single day, you're a liar. Or a couple days. Close off my public social media accounts. A timely move that I learned derailed other supporters of Valorverse from making content attacking me. No, it didn't. Evidence? Evidence. Who else was going to attack you? What? Is this an attack? Is talking about you on a video an attack? In an effort to be fully transparent, you can again view the controversial videos in their entirety here, and I will be downloading those later. Months after I took the channel down, Bobby filed his lawsuit against me. No, it was in the works before then. In fact, I think it was in the works while my stream was going. I decided, so I don't know why he's lying. Actually I do know. I decided that despite the cost, I would not be bullied into agreeing to Bobby's unreasonable proposals in exchange for him dropping the slap suit. I endured a 501-day legal battle that ended after I was deposed by Bobby's attorney for approximately 6 hours. 6 hours? Like, did the Prince of Persia withstand you? What's going on here? Props if you get that reference. They insisted that I be deposed first, despite pushback from my attorney. Bobby sat in the room for my deposition, then dismissed the suit with prejudice shortly after we wrapped up, on the eve of his own disposition. So Bobby dismissed the suit with prejudice? Let me ask. Did you dismiss the suit with prejudice? Or did the moron mean the judge / legal officials did? And we'll see what he says. Back to it. Who has tagged me? Whomst? It's Asuka. Okay, Asuka. Okay. All right, so in addition, Bobby sent subpoenas to at least 7 of my friends and family demanding they produce, for the period January 1st, 2021 to the present, all communications with Kenneth Kopnick, explicitly or implicitly regarding Bobby Vala and or Valaverse LLC. Oop, I respond. It's sent to the wrong guy. So now Robert Infinite Realms just got a random question about a legal suit. Fantastic. I sent it to the wrong guy. I promise you, I am a professional. I'm a professional, which is actually why this isn't my job. I'm going to send it to Bobby. I thought I clicked on Bobby. Oh, there we go. Now again, he's asking for communication about him. He is not saying, send me photos of, like, your quinceañera. He is not saying, I want to see what you ate last week. It's all about him. About things said about him. Why? Because these idiots do in fact conspire. I've seen them do it. I know for a fact they do. Kind of like the losers who obsess over me conspire and get together. As well as any notes, statements, or reports in any documents or communications regarding Robert Vala and or Valaverse LLC. I believe this attempted overreach was not just an extension of intimidation, but also a fishing expedition to obtain and exploit private communications, as evidenced by Bobby's attempt to have one of my friends banned from a convention by using a private message he turned during discovery as the basis of his attempt. He's legally allowed to do that. Because the thing is, he's not providing that message. He's not showing it here. And I don't think he ever would. I think he knows why he shouldn't do that. Fortunately, that attempt also failed, so the guy who runs the convention is weak. This is not unusual. This GoFundMe, as opposed to the other GoFundMe, as opposed to the 5 others about ducks or whatever. Are there GoFundMe about ducks? There probably are. I made a personal choice to stand up against intimidation, and due to the laws at the time of the suit, the legal costs associated with this fight are my own. It's a decision I made and stand behind. That said, if you appreciate and value the fight against those who wield their power and influence to intimidate and silence others, I would greatly appreciate a donation to this cause. I incurred direct legal defense bills of $24,942.40. It's the 40 cents that was a problem. As a direct result of this lawsuit, additional legal fees of $14,740, hey, no cents there, so you're good, were incurred for representation of some of those who were issued subpoenas. Donations will be utilized to pay for these legal fees. And if total funds are donated beyond the combined legal fees of $39,684.40, got the 40 cents there, they will be donated to Stomp Out Bullying Charity. Brother, you don't know what bullying is. How in the world are these people part of my generation, right, who lived through the freaking 80s and 90s and the type of bullying we dealt with there? And to be very clear, the bullying we dealt with wasn't memes. It wasn't, like, just random banter. Like, this is exactly where. Like, the toilet jokes, the wedgies, the flagpole stuff, that's where that had, right? That's where we came from. This is ridiculous. Like, if you think you being confronted to your face and being hit with a lawsuit you were warned about, by the way, is bullying, you have the softest, poshest of life ever. Okay, so I got word back from Bobby. Now, I want to be very clear here. A legal term, right? To dismiss something with prejudice essentially means it can't be refiled, right? So, for example, when Buttons went at FNGR and when Buttons tried to go at me, the judge dismissed those cases on Buttons' end without prejudice. And what that means is they can refile if they want to, if they think they have a case, which none of them did. She doesn't have a case against either of us. So, obviously, that's the case. Now, according to Bobby, he did so without prejudice. So he has a whole year to refile it. Womp womp! Idiot. I recommend donations be made anonymously to eliminate any possibility, however small, that contributors could face harassment for donating. Alright, so I'm just going to say this right now. This guy is an absolute scumbag. However, that doesn't mean the people giving him money need to be harassed. They probably don't know how much of a snake he is. Because a lot of people, when they see somebody going through trouble, they don't get into the details. They don't get into the granular aspects of things. So, on good faith, they're probably giving him that money. Alright? So, nobody should harass them. And I disavow anybody who would. And if anybody in my spaces that I control, I find out are doing genuine harassment, you will be gone from them. Alright? Alright. My reputation and integrity are important to me. No, they are not. And although I was ultimately victorious in this suit, were you? If you can refile it, brother, that means you can go through this all over again. Another 501 days. Maybe we'll make it 502. I and others have been personally targeted by a small but active group of Valaverse supporters in the past. Okay, name them. Name them, ho. I urge those supporters to watch video of Bobby himself speaking. I believe that his own words also clearly demonstrate how frivolous this lawsuit was. Here are a few examples. What's the next thing you're going to steal? We're going to take a break from that. Yes, you can call my line a G.I. Joe ripoff if you want. That's fine. He's being dismissive. I don't want to sound like I'm ripping off G.I. Joe, but I'm ripping off G.I. Joe. Where's the context for these? Let's see. Let's find out. On to an adventure!
So, some of the other characters in Action Force, do you think that we'll see any more G.I. Joe type aspects from it? You have Steel Brigade, and you have Action Force, which G.I. Joe fans are very familiar with those names. Do you think that more aspects of it could be coming?
I don't know. I got asked that a few days ago. You know, someone was like, "Oh, what's the next thing you're gonna steal?" I think we're gonna take a break from that. It's like Action Force was, what I want. I felt like the line needed to be revived, and it was.
Oh no, he says he's gonna take a break from essentially getting inspiration. What? That's your gotcha? Let's see the other gotcha.
I took a couple, another trademark from Hasbro as well, and that's, yes, you can call my line a G.I. Joe ripoff if you want. That's fine. I got no problem with you calling it that. It's, flattery, I guess. But it's, it's my own thing. It's its own characters, its own story. Yes, it has Sergeant Slaughter. Yes, it has Steel Brigade. So if you want to call it a G.I. Joe ripoff, it's fine with me. I'm not mad.
I think there's a bit of a difference between saying something's derivative, which is essentially what this is, and doing what Kopnick did. And literally just saying these are all stolen, this is an imitation, this is fake, yada yada. So let's see what this last one is.
Essentially, I don't want to sound like I'm ripping off G.I. Joe, but I'm ripping off G.I. Joe. It is a military line with unique characters and a story. And I have worked with some people to help.
Again, that's a statement of derivative, of something being derivative. It's not actually a ripoff. Good God. This guy does not understand, hyperbole at all. It's also dishonest. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this, and God bless. Don't invoke God. That is going to bite you. All right, so, who wants to go back to the civil suit? So, Plaintiff Robert Bobby Vala is the president, CEO, and chief development officer of Plaintiff Valaverse LLC, a toy company. On or about September 20th, 2023, defendant Kenneth Kopnick published a YouTube video making egregiously and outrageously false claims about plaintiffs. He did. Kopnick falsely claimed plaintiffs had stolen intellectual property from toy maker Hasbro. He did. And were ripping off and gaslighting customers. Well, that is what happened. He also claimed that plaintiff Vala is homophobic. We all know Bobby hates the gays. That's why he makes so many action figures of buff dudes. This is going to get clipped. On or about October 4th, 2023, defendant followed that defamatory video with one falsely and twice calling plaintiff Vala a terrorist. Yes, he did, actually, because I remember us talking about that. And falsely claiming that plaintiff Vala had a physical altercation with defendant. Yeah? 3. Defendant must be held accountable for his actions toward plaintiffs. Parties. Plaintiff Robert Bobby Vala is a resident of Rhode Island. I wonder if he goes to the Drunken Clam. He is the president, chief executive officer, and chief development officer of Plaintiff Valaverse LLC. He is not a public figure, but a private business person. I don't personally think that's accurate. Again, I'm arguing with the legal counsel here, but I think you are by nature when you do YouTube videos. It's whatever. Plaintiff Valaverse LLC is a company incorporated in Rhode Island, named after Plaintiff Vala. The company's reputation and success depends on the good reputation of Plaintiff Vala. That is true. And the quality of his figures. Defendant Kenneth Kopnick is a resident of Miamisburg, Montgomery County, Ohio. Why did you... I can't... Chat, I can't. Why did you sit there and, redact your address? And then not redact literally the city and county you live in, that anybody can go look up your name. You're an idiot. He styles himself as a collector. And again, this isn't about the legal paperwork, right? This is this guy. He published this, right? And he didn't redact his own information. He styles himself as a collector, reviewer, and seller of toys. He made the defamatory statements about plaintiffs while he was residing in Ohio, although the statements were broadcast, seen, and heard, read nationally, and perhaps internationally. Jurisdiction and venue. We're going to go do it at the Hotel Plaza, Nakatomi Plaza. The court has subject matter jurisdiction over this controversy because the claims are stated under Ohio law and damages are more than $15,000. I actually don't know what that's in reference to. I'm sure this was written in the idea that Kenneth would know, and he probably does. The court has personal jurisdiction over defendant, who resides in Montgomery County, and whose acts and omissions took place here. The court is the proper venue, because the acts and omissions compiled or complained of occurred in this county. Although Plaintiff Vala resides, and Plaintiff Valaverse LLC resides in Rhode Island, defendant resides in the county and did so with such acts and omissions occurred. So essentially saying, here's why we're doing this venue. Facts. Defendant Kopnick unleashes a tirade of false and injurious statements on YouTube about Robert Vala and Valaverse. He did. On or about September 20th, 2023, Defendant Kopnick published on his YouTube channel, Loose Action Figure Toy Reviews, a video of himself talking about plaintiffs. His invective against plaintiffs, which he proudly and repeatedly labeled talking crap, included, among others, the following false factual statements. The plaintiffs' military toy products were from Hasbro's stolen IP. That is a claim, right? What is this? DeWeef is messaging me. This is what I love about her. One of the many, many things I love about her is I'll just randomly get texts about, like, hey, I have an idea of what we can do in the hallway. I love her. He did make the claim that the IP was stolen. That is actively calling the man a criminal. The IP was not stolen. It lapsed. It's legal. I'm sorry you're butt mad over it. That sounds like a skill issue. That likewise, plaintiffs' military toy lines were knockoffs. Talking about the quality of them. Talking about their legitimacy. The plaintiffs were gaslighting and ripping people off about their products. Also things he said. That plaintiff is homophobic. Brother, you cannot, in current year, operate in social media selling things while really, really hating the gay people. So if that wound up getting traction, Vala would actually be struggling. Defendant's defamatory statements had over 10,000 views before he made them private and then removed him because he's a pussy. Defendant Kopnick posts more false and injurious statements on YouTube about Robert Vala and Valaverse. On or about October 4th, 2023, Defendant then posted yet another YouTube video in which he twice falsely called Plaintiff Vala, Plaintiff Valaverse's resident CEO, a terrorist. Cobra. Defendant also accused Plaintiff Vala of assault and battery while falsely claiming that Plaintiff Vala had a physical altercation with defendant. I would have paid to see that, actually, because I know those guys would have gotten mopped up. I've seen Kenny and I've seen his buddies. They haven't ran anywhere in a while that didn't require hitting the K key. But as defendant that we knew, Plaintiff Vala and defendant have never had any physical altercation. Yeah, that's why the guy still has his teeth. In that second video, defendant also admitted he has conspiracy theories about plaintiffs. Defendant Kopnick has also posted false statements about Robert Vala and Valaverse in an online forum called His Tank. Now, I want to tell you something about His Tank. His Tank is where the most limp-wristed, slovenly, slack-jawed idiots will congregate to cry because someone was mean about a toy they like. Look, man, I get liking something. But if you like it to the point where you are actually just melting down anytime someone's critical or makes fun of it, what are you? Like, are you an adult? Because I don't think you are. I think they might need to check your diapers. Based on defendant's own statements and on information and belief, defendant, within the last year before this complaint's filings, made and instigated additional false statements about plaintiff in an online forum widely used by toy collectors called His Tank. The moderators eventually removed the attacks on plaintiffs, but not before many individuals had read them. Yeah, I actually saw that happen live. Like, they realized that they kept that up, it'd be problems. So, there was at least some incident. I can't even remember the name of the guy. But somebody went on there with an account and started just bullying people on the Valaverse threads, right? Did he get banned for calling a dude fat? Did he get banned for insulting, like, people crying about toilet? No, he apparently got banned for saying to a guy, your mom gay. It was great. Also, if you want to know how scummy His Tank actually is, my first online stalker, Adam Galvin, is a regular there. And he constantly cries about me and retroblasting. because the weird little kid toucher can't handle his toy lines being made fun of. Like, look, I want to be clear here. The ACC, which I'm also in, it has no shortage of its fair share of losers, crybabies, cry-bully morons that need to learn how to do a push-up, right? No shortage of them at all. The toy collecting community is worse. I could go to the most soft ACC person ever and find out they're, I don't know, what's something the kids are into nowadays. What is it kids are into nowadays? I would say like Hell of a Boss or Has Been a Hotel, but kids shouldn't be watching those, or anybody, frankly. Let's say, I don't know, the new season of Amazing World of Gumball. Which, to be clear, this isn't my actual value. I love that show. And tell that kid, Gumball sucks. And here's why I think it sucks. The kid would just be shrugging and go, okay, these guys melt down. Like you've attacked them on a personal level by attacking what they like. Defendant engaged in these actions wantonly and maliciously, also true. Doing so even after receiving a cease and desist letter from plaintiff's counsel for earlier similar misconduct. That's the one we read from 2023 or 2021. Defendant vowed in the first YouTube video that he will always talk crap. On that point, plaintiffs take him at his word. Based. His obsession with plaintiffs is inexplicable. Also true. And he must be stopped, no matter the cost. Claim 1. Defamation, libel, and slander under Ohio law. Plaintiffs, they need to fix their printer. Plaintiffs incorporate all previous allegations. Defendant published and distributed the above described and other false and misleading statements about plaintiffs at minimum negligently, but also knowing they were false and with reckless disregard as to whether the statements were true. Many, if not all, the false statements defendant made about plaintiff were defamation per se. That is, they reflected upon plaintiff's character by bringing them into ridicule, hatred, or contempt, or affected them injuriously in their trade or profession. Damages are presumed. Regardless, as a direct and proximate result of defendant's defamatory statements, plaintiffs have suffered and will continue to suffer damages for which defendant is liable, including, but not limited to, harm to reputation and loss of economic opportunities, as well as, in the case of the plaintiff Vala, emotional distress, humiliation, and embarrassment. Typical corporate talk, you know. Defendant's acts were willful, egregious, malicious, and worthy of substantial sanction to punish and deter him and others, including the online friends he instigated, from engaging in this type of unlawful conduct. False light invasion of privacy. Plaintiffs incorporate all previous allegations. One who gives publicity to a matter concerning another that places the other before the public in a false light is subject to liability to the other for invasion of privacy if the false light in which the other was placed would be highly offensive to a reasonable person, and the actor had knowledge of or acted in reckless disregard to the falsity of the published matter, and the false light in which the other would be placed, both of which he did. And again, those videos still exist. One who intentionally intrudes, physically or otherwise, upon the solitude or seclusion of others or their private affairs or concerns is subject to liability to the other for invasion of privacy if the intrusion is wrongful and would be highly offensive to a reasonable person. That's offensive. Here, defendant intruded into the seclusion of plaintiff's private affairs by publicly posting false information to cast them in a false light. Such accusations would be highly offensive to any reasonable person. Now again, notice how it's not talking about memes. Maybe it does later on. I don't know. But I'm not seeing it yet, and we're halfway through. It's talking about calling Bobby a terrorist and saying that his toys are fakes and ripoffs and intellectual property theft. I wonder how this guy would survive in the Transformer fandom. He'd probably lose his absolute gourd. Defendant gave publicity to statements he knew were false, as to which he was reckless regarding their falsity and the false light in which they would place plaintiffs. He publicized them with the intention that they reach the public and ensured they were sure to reach the public and substantially certain to become public knowledge. The statements placed plaintiff in a false light that would be highly offensive to a reasonable person. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's unlawful conduct, plaintiff suffered and will continue to suffer damages for which defendant is liable, including, but not limited to, loss of reputation and loss of economic opportunities. defendant's acts were willful, egregious, malicious, and worthy of substantial sanction to punish and deter him and others, including his online friends he instigated, from engaging in this type of unlawful conduct. So far, I don't see anything about memes. Claim 3, civil liability for criminal acts. Oof, criminalized, that's rough. Under RC 2307.60A1, incorporating RC 2917.21, telecommunication harassment, RC 2923.02, attempt, and RC 2923.03, complicity. Plaintiffs incorporate all previous allegations. I love that it keeps rolling it over. It's like taking damage in Magic the Gathering. RC 2307.60 provides anyone injured in person or property by a criminal act has and may recover full damages in civil action. Independently authorizes a civil action for damages caused by criminal acts. And no proof of an underlying criminal conviction is required when bringing a civil action under this. Telecommunications harassment provides that no person shall knowingly make or cause to be made telecommunication or knowingly permit a telecommunication to be made for telecommunications advice under the person's control to another if the person knowingly makes any comment, request, suggestion, or proposal to the recipient of the telecommunication that is threatening, intimidating, menacing, coercive, or obscene with the intent to abuse, threaten, or harass the recipient. That no person shall knowingly make or cause to be made a telecommunication or knowingly permit a telecommunication to be made from a telecommunications device under the person's control to another if the person knowingly makes any false statements concerning the reputation, indecent conduct, or criminal conduct of the recipient of the telecommunication or family or household member of the recipient with purpose to abuse, threaten, intimidate, or harass the recipient. This law provides that no person shall knowingly make or cause to be made a telecommunication or knowingly permit a telecommunication to be made from a telecommunications device under the person's control to another if the person knowingly incites another person through a telecommunication or any other means to harass or participate in harassing another person. So this is a lot of gobbledygook, right? A lot of repeating itself. What is the TLDR of this? Well, the TLDR of this is, you know how it keeps saying knowingly, 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 knowingly? That's the difference. Like, if you were told by someone you trusted that, I don't know, Bobby Vala made an action figure of Gwyneth Paltrow being eaten by a grizzly bear. Let's go with a headcanon, right? Let's go with a personal favorite. And that person were to repeat that publicly, thoroughly believing and convinced his friend told him the truth, that would be harder to prosecute than the fact that this guy knows, because he's been in these areas, he knows how this works, he knows what's going on here. He has willfully, intentionally made false statements. That's the difference. Intent and knowledge. This law provides in relevant parts that no person shall make or cause to be made a telecommunication or permit a telecommunication to be made from a device under a person's control with purpose to abuse, threaten, or harass another person. That no person shall knowingly post a text or audio statement or an image on an internet website, as opposed to what other type of website or web page for the purpose of abusing, threatening, and harassing another person. I know that's what they have to do, but God, that's annoying. Telecommunication harassment is, at a minimum, a first-degree misdemeanor and can be a felony. True. Attempt provides that no person purposely or knowingly, and when purpose or knowledge is sufficient culpability for the commission of an offense, shall engage in conduct that, if successful, would constitute or result in the offense. This law provides that no person acting with the kind of culpability required for the commission of an offense shall solicit or procure another to commit the offense, aid or abet another in committing the offense, conspire with another to commit the offense in violation of Section 2923.01 of the Revised Code, or 4, cause an innocent or irresponsible person to commit the offense. Those who commit complicity may be criminally prosecuted and punished as if they were the principal offender. So complicity in committing telecommunication harassment is as punishable as committing telecommunication harassment. Okay. Defendant's purposeful abuse, threats, harassment, and incitement of others through his YouTube and chat room posts and communications with others, summarized above, is by definition communication harassment under this law. I will say this. If Bobby or whoever wants to share with me at some point some of the nonsense this freak was saying behind the scenes that elicited this type of response, I'd be okay with that. Defendant's engagement of conduct that, if successful, would constitute a result of the offense, make him guilty of criminal attempt. And defendant's solicitation, procurement, aiding and abetting and causing others to commit telecommunication harassment make him guilty of criminal complicity. Plaintiffs suffered injuries because of defendants' serial violations of these criminal statutes. Defenders' acts were willful, egregious, malicious, and worthy of substantial sanction of punishment, and deter him and others, including those he instigated, from engaging in these types of unlawful conduct. So that's like the third time this has been said. Plaintiffs are entitled to recover in this civil action full damages caused by the defendant's commission of these offenses, as well as punitive damage and attorney fees. Deceptive trade practices. This is Chapter 4. This law creates a cause of action for injunctive release and damages for deceptive trade practices. A1. A person who is likely to be damaged by a person who commits a deceptive trade practice that is listed in Division A of Section 4165.02 of the Revised Code may commence a civil action for injunctive release against the other person, and the Court of Common Pleas involved in that action may grant injunctive release. I like that word, injunctive. Based on the principle, it says, it's nice to say, the autism, of equity and in terms of the court consider reasonable. Proof of monetary damage or loss of profits is not required in a civil action commenced under Division A1 of this section. Part 2. A person who is injured by a person who commits a deceptive trade practice that is listed in Division A of Section 4165.02 of the Revised Code may commence a civil action in order to recover actual damages from a person who commits the deceptive trade practice. The court may award, in accordance with this division, reasonable attorney's fees to the prevailing party in which either type of civil action authorized by Division A of this section. An award of attorney's fees may be assessed against the plaintiff if the court finds that the plaintiff doeth the action to be groundless. An award of attorney's fees may be assessed against the defendant if the court finds has willfully engaged in a trade practice listed in Division A of Section 4165.02 of the Revised Code, knowing it to be deceptive. The civil relief provided in this section is in addition to civil and criminal remedies otherwise available against the same conduct under the common law or other sections of the Revised Code. RC 416502 provides, in relevant part, a person engages in a deceptive trade practice when, in one of the course of the person's business, vocation, or occupation, the person does any of the following: passes off goods and services as those of another, he did that; causes likelihood or confusion or misunderstanding as the source, sponsorship, approval, or certification of goods or services, he did that; causes likelihood of confusion or misunderstanding as the affiliation, connection, or association with, or certification by another; disparages the goods, services, or businesses of another by false presentation of fact, which is all things he's done. Guys, I'm not the one getting sued. It's okay. In order to prevail in a civil action under Section 4165.03 of the Revised Code that seeks injunctive relief or an award of damages and is based on one or more deceptive trade practices listed in Division A of the section, a complainant need not prove competition between the parties of the civil action. Emphasis added. With his statements claiming that plaintiffs stole Hasbro's intellectual property and were ripping off and gaslighting customers, and that these products were knockoffs, along with the other disparaging comments, defendant, a self-styled toy reviewer, collector, and seller, violated these trade practice principles. He is liable for all resulting damages and for injunctive relief. Prayer for relief. We can't be talking about prayer in law. For the above reasons, plaintiff respectfully requests the following relief. A. Declare the defendant's acts and conduct constitute violations of Ohio law. Enter judgment in plaintiff's favor for all claims of relief. Award full compensatory damages of at least the jurisdiction among including, but not limited to, damages for loss of reputation, including but not limited to, contempt, ridicule, and public hatred, emotional distress, humiliation, embarrassment, and inconvenience the plaintiffs have suffered and is reasonably certain to suffer in the future. He did stir up a lot of people saying some awful crap. Award punitive and exemplary damages for defendant's egregious, willful, and malicious conduct. Award pre- and post-judgment interest at the highest lawful rate. You know, we're at the last page now. I haven't seen anything about memes. Award plaintiffs their reasonable attorney fees, including expert fees and all other costs of suit. Award all other relief in law or equity, including injunctive relief, to which plaintiffs are entitled and the court deems equitable, just, or proper. Jury demand. Plaintiffs respectfully demand a trial by jury and all issues within this complaint. Respectfully submitted. Now, we read through the entire thing-a-who's-it. Like, the entire thing. And what did Doofus here say? Free speech, and he thinks that this is being silenced. He thinks it being memes are being silenced. Funny, not once in that did it talk about disparaging images. Not once did it talk about memes. It was talking about the false things he said publicly about a toy line that he knows are false. It's almost like Kopnick here is a liar. Let's see if he's made any money since the stream started. I'm curious. Ooh, he did. He did. He made an extra 4%. Well, I'm glad Kopnick at least has people that cares about him, if nothing else. So, let me see here. Do-do. 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 Gonna ask a couple questions here. So we're going to have a couple questions here. A couple of questions for you, my dear chat. Even though there's very few of you here because we're not talking about, like, commentary drama. I appreciate it regardless. Is Kenny dumb for continuing this after the initial C&D? Brother took a shot out the bow. Couldn't handle it. We're going to go to the other screen now since we're done with the reading.
Reactor engaged. Faction.
I clicked the wrong thing. I am very good. I am a professional. So, let me see here. Let me pull up a couple veggies. A couple vadio. Do 3 POA. So, we have an additional drama we're going to look at, gentlemen. That additional one.
Oh.
Once we get all these questions answered. All of our questions answered by the genie. Go away. Go away. So, it looks like it's 98% to 2%. I'm pretty sure those 2% are Aquanus and Vlad. So, let's go ahead and end that poll. Now, I'm going to ask you another question. All right? All right? Just bear with me. I'm not a clone of Lion-O. I don't have red hair. Sorry. Or the same outfit. Or even the same color palette. Da-da. Next question. Is Kenny lying about the defamation case on his GoFundMe? Actually, no. Lion-O did not have a brother. However, fun fact, in the UK comics, he's technically half leopard. Oof. Once again, OBS had failed me for the last time. But anyways, they might be a bunch of corporate bootlickers, but at least they aren't rude. So, here we are. Here we are. So, last week, 3POA did a stream called the Shill Stream, where they rate channels based on how much of a shill they are. Now, I want to be very clear. There were some people they absolutely were going hard on because they just are shills. Like, we want more Thundercats. Absolute shill. I gave them that one, by the way. Ryan actually had to ask me who it was again. Definitely a shill, right? Definitely a shill. And in this stream, they also put themselves on the list. They picked on each other, right? It was fun. That's the purpose. Now, there's somebody who used to work for Hasbro, who no longer works for that company. He worked on the Marvel Legends run, yada yada, named Ryan Ting. I want to be very clear. I don't like him. I find his answers to be weak. I find them to not be conducive with a man who puts his chest out when he answers, right? That's my personal opinion. Now, that's not their personal opinion. That is a Lio Convoy opinion. If you get mad at anybody, make sure it's me, all right? I want the hatred directed at me, not people who are not me, for my opinion. All right? Don't be dumb, dummy. So, for a while, these gentlemen had invited Ryan Ting, and he was going to show, but he chose not to. He backed out after that stream. Why? Well, he took some personal offense to it because, well, you can't make fun of or be critical of anybody in the toy community because that's just mean. Now, here's how they are talking about it. Here's how they are talking about all this.
Oh, snap says, why is Jersey shilling for Hasbro again, promoting Hasbro Ollie products now?
Oh. Hi, Toying Around's friend. How you doing, buddy? Tell him I said hi.
Hello! Can you believe that guy was banning people that were in our chat during that show?
Ryan, what the reaction to that show really did show me that for a fucking hobby that is 95% male, at least there's an awful lot of estrogen flowing through it at all times. Really embarrassing, folks.
Who was banning?
Really embarrassing.
Now, I will say I disagree with Jersey Maniac because just having estrogen doesn't mean you're weak. I met some strong women, like a good-looking Mothra sometime. I get what he's trying to say, but there are better ways to say it, I think. And no, I just criticized Jersey Maniac. Surely Ryan's going to be in my DMs telling me he never wants to talk to me again. Oh, no!
Not only did he ban people just for watching the show, but he banned really nice people, like Pock Photos. Like, photos.
Who banned what now? Hold on, say that again. Wait, who banned what?
Oh, Toying Around, this clown got offended by our shill show. And
You should be honored if you're on the damn show. Didn't Toy Chiz, he was like, hey, listen, thanks for shouting me out. Like a good sport.
And you shared the...
Look, if I actually said in that stream, like, I need to boost myself up more. I need to be on the next one. What will I shill? I don't know. I'm not good at shilling anything. This is so dumb. This is so doggone stupid. Like, look, I can get banning somebody from your chat if you see them being, like, a scumbag in other chats. I've done that. I have seen people run their mouth about me in somebody else's chat and then come in here and act like we're going to be buddies. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of you. I don't like snakes. But just participating and being in with... Look, they're not calling these guys kid touchers, right? They're not saying they, like, diddle their dogs. They're not saying they beat children and they steal from the homeless and that they burn down the houses of widows. They're saying, hey, you're a shill. Like, if somebody called me a shill, I'd be confused, firstly. But my first response wouldn't be, well, you were in their chat, I'm going to ban you. I'd engage with them and bully them back. That's how it needs to happen. Right? But anyways.
But share the link in his stories. That's how you do it. Like,
shout out to Toy Shiz. Toy Shiz, he's awesome. I was telling Jersey I want to invite him on part 2. I don't know if he'd do it.
I hope he does.
Come on the show.
I hope he does.
Just come on the show anyway. I like Toy Shiz, man.
Bobby, do it. Make it happen.
That's the thing too. Like when I put him on the list, I said he's got great value to the community, and I like the guy. So
you guys want to hear some of the fallout from that show? Like I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Spill Ryan. Spill it.
This Saturday we were supposed to have Ryan Ting, but he canceled.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What? Oh, Ryan.
Because of the show. Is that confirmed?
That's what he told me.
Oh man,
no.
Ryan Ting, do better.
Ryan. Oh, man.
Do a lot better.
It's totally no.
Coal in my stocking for the holiday season.
It's totally fine. Like it's up to him.
No, I get it. Well, I don't get it.
I don't feel entitled to anything, and if that's his choice, that's fine.
Man,
but,
we missed you, Ryan. Come on back. Come on.
Yeah, it was a really good show the first time.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. You are assuming that the invitation is still there.
The business.
And you got, for those of you wondering, the puppet is Sam Newsman, and it has been prophesied that he and the bird will do battle one day. One day.
This insight that he brought that episode was
incredible. I'm not like that's fine. That's his choice. I'm not upset, but the invitation is not.
The peek behind the curtain in terms of the industry and the business is not always just top stuff.
Yeah. And by the way, not that he won't care. It's not going to hurt him. He's not even he's not in the toy industry anymore.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's
unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
But you know what? It's the cost of just doing what you want and not
true.
not succumbing to the mob, which is not going to happen.
Here.
If anything, that kind of retarded outrage just makes me want to go harder in the paint.
Can we bring up Soul Reaper?
Never
here?
apologize and double down.
Soul Reaper here. Like, do you see that?
I'm doing
it. Man, it wasn't worth having Maniac if the Ryan interview. Yes, it is. Yes, it is
How's
worth
that?
it. Absolutely.
How's that? I want.
I don't like everything Jersey Maniac says, but I like his candor. And I want to be very clear. Like, I know that where the whole never apologize nonsense comes from. I think that you should apologize, but only if you actually mean it. Like, if it's something you stand by, don't apologize for anybody, ever. But if it's like, actually, yeah, that was kind of scummy, I regret that, then yeah, an apology's fine.
I wanted to see that fucking Ryan interview too, dude. I really did. However, having someone dictate what you're going to do on your own show is fucking ridiculous.
No.
Not going to happen. Not to mention, if you are bothered by anything we said on that show, you are a public fucking... Hold on, Muppet! You are a public fucking figure. How many times has this come up on this show alone, folks? A lot. Do better.
Sorry.
All of this shit.
Snapping at
Subscribe,
Sam,
left
that's
and right, all
amazing.
Because of bullshit. Just be a goddamn man for 5 minutes. Again, your face is on YouTube. Who the fuck cares what we have to say about you?
Yeah, I mean...
Facts.
Facts.
They'll give me a news article tomorrow. YouTuber Jersey Maniac found dead in Orlando, strangled to death, assuming the hands that were around his neck were made of felt.
Yeah.
Now my blood pressure's up again, goddammit. Like,
Dude, that is
Keep on going, keep on going, let's go.
Take a puff of your...
It's clip-worthy right there. Jersey, clip-worthy right there.
That might be a
Fantastic.
short. That might be a short.
Oh,
100%
100%
support
needs
that.
to be.
Man,
And can I just say real quick, when people start dictating things on shows, it's very interesting because you might as well just say, oh, well, you want me to give you all my questions in advance?
Exactly. I'll never do that. Never.
Right. No, like you don't do that at all. But some people think they sit there and they think, well, like these are the parameters of an interview, and it's like, well, no, hold on, wait a minute. Do you just really want me to send you a list so you can then make bullet points? And you talk about shilling at that point.
Yeah, what is this, a presidential race? Like, you don't get the questions up front.
No. Oh, these are our parameters if you want to come on.
If I ever get like Brian Flynn on here, you'd assume my first question would be to dog on him. My first question to anybody from like the toy industry, if I ever had to talk to him, would be, other than Bobby, because I already had my call with him, would be, why are you gay? You are gay. Show me where is straight. You are homosexual.
Telethon now.
Bring up Blake's. Blake's is good.
Where? Now do the top 10 teens who are jerks, Joe.
Teens.
I don't think he's a jerk. I just think he's scared. And that's
He's
fine.
scared. No, that's fine. Yeah, he's scared.
But it's so
It's unfortunate.
soft. It's just so soft. Like, again.
I would say cautious.
Do you know how many people are out there talking shit about me on a regular basis? I don't
Oh my
care.
god, dude!
Like, I don't care.
Dude, go
So
look.
many.
Go, hold on. Go look at the comments on the show. All the positive. Look what all the positive people say. Look at the kind of things they say.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't say anything vile like the comments on the show got. I mean, Jersey.
Yes.
It was a joke.
I know.
And people who were in on the joke had a good fucking time.
Yeah.
Reached out to me and said, hey, thanks for, like, and they say, oh, I didn't make it high as I thought that I would. Oh, man, I'm so...
Again, huge shout out to Toy Shiz.
Toy Shiz, Mad Hatter. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Impossible Pie, he was banning people on IG that I know of, because I had a few people reach out to me like, he blocked me. I'm like, sorry.
Oh.
So we're like, we're into guild by association territory now too.
Oh yeah,
That's
correct.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's not now, Jeremy.
By the way,
That's been the way.
let me be clear right now. Don't talk over me. Let me be clear. Do not go after Ryan Ting. It's fine. It really is fine. It's okay. It's his choice. Leave him alone. Don't message him. Don't harass him. It's okay.
Did he say was it just because of that show?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I told him. I said I was like, I mean, that's fine. He said, I'm sorry if it messes up your show. I'm like, no. I said it is what it is. But I told him I don't understand why. We have shows, and I'm not saying I'm on this level because I'm not, but we have shows like SNL, and I grew up on In Living Color, and I grew up on Comedy Central roasts and things like that, and it's all good. No one cares. Like SNL used to go in hard on people, and then they'd be on the show the next week.
Yep.
Why, when it happens in this little microcosm of a toy community, is it like a goddamn hate crime or something? It's so weird.
Ryan, you were on there. Jersey was on there. I was on there. Gaines was on there. Guys, fucking relax.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty wild.
Jesus.
Dude, and the thing is too, how is this like such an insult? Like, if you're gonna do it, own it. Like, again, like, if Dan Who was fucking insulted in any way, he's got no self-awareness. I said that on the show. If MCU Collector does not know with his big boxes of fucking Big Bad Toy Store shit, look what I got today, folks. You can order this on Big Bad. Like, you can't fucking tell. Like, you think other people watching can't fucking tell? And so why would...
All these people be getting deals with Big Bad Toy Store or Show Z Store. Meanwhile, I got emails asking if I want to review a leaf blower or a canopy.
would you possibly care if someone calls you out on? It is not an insult. We're simply pointing out what you're fucking doing, dude. Like, you should not be offended.
I was upset that I wasn't on the list.
There you go.
So was Kaiju
You know what my
Same
favorite part of that show is?
What?
After you called me out as your #1 show, I went into a live read for Nerds Awake. that was perfect timing, man. It was so good.
I put that in my promo link as soon as you did it. I was like, Spanish Shilling, here's the 3POA Nerds Awake link. I mean, come on, guys.
Jersey Maniac Grant brought
Yeah,
to you by
the whole
Nerds
thing. The whole thing doesn't make sense. If somebody like Shane Gillis can get canceled and fired from SNL, right, and then come back and host SNL, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you could do this.
That guy is so funny.
It's cool.
Mrs. LP says not attractive. If you're looking for a toy widow, that's what she calls herself. No respectable woman will be attracted to someone who acts like that. Acts like what? Like me?
No, like them being little fucking bitches.
Oh yeah, being all butthurt over a couple of really mild jokes. Yeah,
that's mild, like getting hard in the paint.
No, the estrogen is running rampant, Mrs. LP. It's got to be stopped. We need a dam to stop the flow.
Yeah, I see Jeremy up here. I miss him.
he
I liked him on the show. He's not very often
Which
anymore.
No.
So there you go. Like, there's really no reason. Like, even if he was going to be in the toy industry, like, who cares? But since he's not, really, who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, so, chat. Why did we watch all that? Why did we watch all that? What was the point? Again, this isn't related to Kenny, but it's related to somebody else. So, one in the chat. Keep in mind, this is one in the chat. If you thought this video was them crying about Ryan Ting not appearing, one in the chat if that was the read you got by watching that video. Now keep in mind, if you think they were crying about Ryan Ting not showing up, 1 is what you should type. Because I know sometimes people have a hard time paying attention. I need to stop asking you people to write numbers. Of course, somebody typed 69. Why did I even ask? Alright, so I'm asking that for a reason. Now, we're moving on. We're moving on to another person. This is Geek Fusion TV. Now, I've had my eyes on him for a bit now. Just a little bit. Because what he likes to do is he does something I actually can't stand. And most functional adults can't either, right? So, show of hands, chat. Who here loves it? I mean, actually likes it. When somebody starts alluding to people but never names them. Does anybody here actually like that behavior? Or do you think it's pussy behavior? Because personally, I think it's pussy behavior. If you are going to talk about somebody's actions, with very few exceptions, because there are exceptions. I'm not going to deny that. There are exceptions. Use names. Because if you don't talk about it. Because it's dumb. Well, that guy over there, he touched a kid. I'm not going to name names, though. Why wouldn't you name a name? That type of logic, right? So, this guy, a couple years ago, or a year, I don't remember which, took shots at people. You're going to hear about it here. But now he's taking shots at 3POA. 3POA and Laser Pants are childish hypocrites. Oh no, chat. Oh no. So let's see what this doofus, this turbo dork has to say here. So let's put the play speed at 1.5.
Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Little bit of it today. 2 or 3 years ago, I made a video basically saying that you should be really careful to not allow people online, YouTubers, like myself, like anybody else, to influence in any negative.
We still buffering? Okay.
Way what you like, right? Like, that's why I say at the end of my videos, enjoy your collection. Enjoy what you enjoy, but I don't let those people influence whether or not I like certain, right? I mean,
enjoy mocking morons.
Watch their videos for certain opinions and things like that. But if I like something, whatever it is, whether you like it or not, or other people like it or not, if it brings me a little bit of joy, puts a smile on my face when I walk into my collection room, fucking awesome, and you should be the same way. And I used in this video the example of G.I. Joe versus Valorverse, and I was talking about a bunch of stuff in that video about quote-unquote shills, which basically all a shill is, if you really want to know, it's just somebody who's getting something for promoting a particular product. That's it. Maybe they're getting money, maybe they're getting free stuff, maybe what they're getting is just, access, right? Like,
yeah, and it's a joke and you shouldn't do it.
They can talk to people, do interviews, things like that, whatever it is. And in that video where I was talking about, hey, enjoy what you enjoy and just understand that a lot of people online have a bias because they may be getting something for their opinion, I used the example of a YouTuber that had hated on a product and then went later on, I guess, at some point, did or was seen at a toy show doing stuff with the guy who ran the company of that product. And I use that as an example to say, hey, here's a guy that hated something, and then all of a sudden he started liking it. Was he getting anything? Who knows? Who gives a shit? The point is, don't let people's opinions online spoil your enjoyment. Yeah, maybe they're getting paid for their opinion. Honestly, who cares, dude? I'm old enough to remember, magazines.
People should care. Because that's going to affect how people talk about things. It's going to affect how they view things. It's also going to affect how the perception of the audience is on these things. You should care. If the person you are watching is being paid or getting some kickback for a positive review, you should absolutely care. Because otherwise it's dishonest. And here's a smiling tool here. Like getting mad because people don't like dishonesty.
Magazines, where everything in a magazine is a paid-for opinion. You like reading car magazines? Guess what? Car companies pay for all the articles in that. Does that...
Joke's for you. I don't look at car magazines.
that keep you from reading the car magazines to want to know about the cars? No. Do you really care?
The difference is one admits it's an advertisement. That's why it's printed on there that it's an advertisement.
That the magazine was getting paid to put that article in there? No. But you understand that, and you don't let it influence your opinion beyond reason. And that's kind of the same thing with YouTube, right? Some people are quote-unquote shills. I know that word has become a bad word, but honestly it just means somebody who's in a business arrangement of some kind with a company or a product or whatever, and so they put out,
It's not a business arrangement. I want to be very clear about that.
Positive news on said thing. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever, okay? It's how the world works. Capitalism, baby. It's great, okay? But anyway, I did this video like 2-3 years ago, whatever it was. A particular YouTuber got really, really butthurt because they thought I was talking about them. That YouTuber was Articulated Ninja. He came onto that video, and it's one of the handful of videos on my channel, my little teeny tiny nobody YouTube channel, that actually got a lot of views and a lot of attention. And he thought I was talking about him. And so he came on and just started leaving shitty comments all in that video.
Boo-hoo.
Now, Articulated Ninja, I had watched some of his stuff. I think I was subscribed to him. He wasn't like my favorite YouTuber or anything, but I would watch his stuff. He had good video editing and video quality and stuff like that. Not particularly hot on his opinions. He seems just, in my opinion, way too obsessed with female action figures, like to a perverted level. It's a little weird, but...
You really can't say that when your entire back wall is filled with a bunch of buff, and in some cases, like down here, half-naked dudes. Just saying. Oh, and up here. Some more half-naked dudes.
Good videos. I enjoyed watching them. Anyway, he came on the video, leaving a bunch of shitty comments. He must have left about 20 comments, and most of his comments were responding to other people who had already left comments. And so in his defense, when I saw his comments and they were a little shitty and defensive, I didn't go to him and say, oh, hey man, I wasn't talking about you. I didn't know you had done the same thing. And by the way, I wasn't knocking it. I'm just trying to get people to enjoy their collection. I could have done that, or I should have done that, or whatever, but I didn't. And I just kind of got shitty with him, to be honest. I was like, well, I wasn't talking about you, but if the shoe fits, I guess you're a fucking shill. And that was just my response. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Congratulations, you gave in to the stupid decision. You know how you avoid all that? You know how you avoided all that, Mr. Geek Fusion? By finding your testicles and saying names. Because if you had named the clown you're talking about, which I want to be very clear, I don't believe him. I think he's lying through his teeth. I think he was talking about Articulated Ninja, who, by the way, was critical of Valaverse. Then Valaverse looked at what he was saying, realized he was right, and congratulations, when he made changes, suddenly Articulated Ninja liked the line better. Oh no! Oh no! This guy's just lying through his teeth. I don't believe him for a second. And if, by the way, Geek Fusion, because I know you're going to see this, because I know plenty of people are obsessed with me, who are going to run to you saying I'm telling people about you and yada yada, who are going to want you to respond, which you will, because you can't help yourself. Grow some balls and name names. Unironically, if you weren't talking about him, I want to know who you were talking about. Don't be a pussy.
Responded that way in the comments, but I did, because he was being shitty already, so it is what it is. Stupid fucking YouTube drama. Who gives a fuck, right? So
you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be talking about it, big boy.
Oh, that went back and forth, and then he started saying shit on social media about how people shouldn't talk about other people unless they're going to say their names.
True!
If they don't say their names, they're a pussy, which would have been...
Based Articulated Ninja.
Fine, except for the fact that I wasn't even talking about him, but whatever. And then like 3 days after that video came out, he made a video basically saying the same thing, which was, if you're not going to say people's names, you're a pussy. And then he didn't say my name in the video of who he was talking about. So it was like, well, now you're doing it, dude.
Not sure if that's accurate. I'll look into that myself. Because if it is true, Ninja, you should have said his name.
Anyway, a lot of bullshit, stupid drama because he got butthurt over something that had nothing to do with it. So he goes and tells his friends in the YouTube community, of which he has many. That's awesome. He's a successful channel, and I think his video quality is great, and he should be a successful channel.
I wish my video quality was that
Laser
good.
Pants from 3POA podcast. I used to watch Laser Pants and 3POA all the time, much more than I ever watched Articulated Ninja, and I was on their Facebook page and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm going through Facebook a couple of days after this stuff had happened, and there's Laser Pants talking shit about me. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like...
No, Hidden. You take off that /J. It's actually true. That's just factual.
I walk into my collection room, fucking awesome, and you should be the same way.
Oops.
And I... about them. That YouTuber was Articulated Ninja. He came onto that video, and when I saw his comments and they were a little shitty and defensive, I didn't go, they're a pussy, which would have been it, dude. Anyway, a lot of bullshit, stupid drama because he got butthurt over something that had nothing to do with it. So he goes and tells his friends in the YouTube community, of which he has many. That's awesome. He's a successful channel, and I think his video quality is great, and he should be a successful channel. One of his friends is Laser Pants from 3POA podcast. I used to watch Laser Pants and
Ryan Laserpants is one of the easiest people to get along with. And I'm not saying that like to sweep. I'm saying like genuinely. It takes a lot to tilt him. And it takes a lot to get him to like do anything about people. Like, you could be one of the worst people in his comment section, whatnot. And it takes a while for him to do anything about it. You actually have to convince him. And that's not inherently a negative on him, all right? I'm not dogging on him for doing that. I'm just saying, like, it's hard to do that with him. Somehow that man winds up in more trouble than I do. How do you wind up in more trouble than me? You don't even go looking for it. Ryan, how? How did this happen to you?
POA all the time, much more than I ever watched Articulated Ninja, and I was on their Facebook.
Yes, I am victim blaming you.
Page and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm going through Facebook a couple of days after this stuff had happened, and there's Laserpants talking shit about me. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I wasn't even talking about Articulated Ninja, and he wouldn't let me respond. And in fact, he banned me from his Facebook page. And then after that, because I do a show, because we've been doing it for a while now, a show with Collector Express, Jared also got banned. Jared Collector Express also got banned from the 3POA and Laserpants Facebook page and everything, just like I did. Even though Jared had nothing to do with the video I made or my opinions or anything, it had nothing to do with him at all. He also got banned and was unable to comment or say anything because they were also talking shit about him because they knew we did a YouTube podcast together. So all that.
I feel something is not being communicated right here. I feel there's been some events that have been omitted.
That happened. Long explanation. A friend of mine, not Jared, somebody else, sent me a message and sent me a couple of videos that 3POA had recently done. So apparently, I guess a week or so ago or whatever, I don't know, I didn't watch it. They did an entire live chat calling out all the shills. By the way, can we just say, it's getting a little ridiculous. We're grown men who collect tiny plastic action figures. Do we have to act any more childish than...
Then why are you crying about it? You're acting childish by crying about people using a proper term for what they're describing. I think Geek here is right-handed, so what I want you to do, Geek, is I want you to raise your right hand. All right, see it? See it, right hand? Now shove it in your pants and find your balls.
And we clearly already are, but apparently we do. So they make this video. I didn't watch it. I don't care. It was, I don't know, however long one of their podcasts are. They called out a bunch of people. The video I did watch was, I guess, like a 15 to 18 minute clip of the next podcast they did, where it's Laserpants and 5 other guys who I don't know, who weren't a part of the 3POA podcast back when I used to watch. So I don't know who they are, but it's the 6 of them sitting there bitching and complaining that because they called out people for being shills, that they like lost an interview with Ryan Tang, and some of their subscribers and some of their friends got banned from these channels that they called out, that people who had watched and commented in that video, the calling out the shills video, got banned from other channels, and they were essentially bitching and crying for like 15 minutes that because they called out people for being shills, that people responded poorly to it and banned a bunch of people.
I wonder what script he's reading when he looks off to the side. It's funny because we just watched that entire thing. I don't hear any crying or complaining. I hear them calling out somebody for being a pussy, which he is. Why is it always, like the softest of people, demand that you capitulate to their values as opposed to just recognizing it's not going to work?
Which I thought was fucking hilarious, because on a much smaller scale, it is the exact same thing that happened to me and Collector Express, and it was fucking hypocritical-ass Laserpants that was the one that fucking did it.
Do you have evidence that he's the one that banned you? Because that page is operated by more than just him.
His Facebook page by banning us because he thought, or I should say Articulated Ninja thought, that I was talking about him in a video, so he cried to his friend Laser.
And you could have fixed that at any time by finding your testicles and saying a name, or by not being a needless dickhead. Because here's the thing. If I'm calling out somebody, and I was an idiot and didn't use a name, I had no testicles and didn't use a name, right? About something not as important as like predation or whatever, and some other guy is getting offended thinking it's about him, my first response to that person is to clear that up. Like, whoa, calm down, dude. You had nothing to do with you. I promise it had nothing to do with you. And here's the guy I was talking about. Here's the receipts for it. Here's the communication I've had with other people about my value on this. Because if I'm hurting somebody who is innocent of this, who thinks he's being targeted, I want to clear that up. Immediately. Now, if I say, this user likes to talk to a bunch of kids about sexual stuff all the time, and we should dog on them for being a kid toucher, and some idiot shows in my comment section saying, I don't know why you're calling me out, then I'm just going to dog on you for being a kid toucher, because you just told on yourself. But that's not what this is, right? The dude's just butt mad he got blasted, and instead of taking the L, instead of owning it and saying, you know what? You're right. I should have done something. I should have said something. I should have mitigated this conflict. He just does this crap. Because he's a butt-mad little baby man.
Laserpants who banned me and Collector Express for the same fucking thing.
Cope!
It's goddamn hilarious and supremely childish and hypocritical because that's what they did to us.
Oh, yes. The crime of banning you is hypocritical. Well, why? Good God, Lord. Why are you like this, little dork?
Fucking amazing.
This guy was not bullied enough as a kid.
The level of...
Maybe he was bullied too much. It was like salt.
Maturity for some of the people in the goddamn toy community is insane. You are grown-ass men fucking collecting actions, okay? Isn't that bad enough? Like,
Well, I mean, you could just throw away your collection or sell it off if you think it's really a problem with maturity. Or you could just grow a pair and learn to say names like a grown man.
Do it. And I know, it's fucking childish, but I don't give a shit. It's reliving my childhood. It's nostalgia. Well, let's keep it to that level. Now we're crying.
Let's trade childhoods. You can have mine and I can have yours, and that way I can be the guy crying about something so minuscule and stupid.
About this shit when you have literally done the same fucking thing? Oh my god. Hypocritical, moronic levels of childish fucking behavior by...
Guys, do you think he's butt mad? I think he's butt mad.
Laser Pants and 3POA. They literally did the same fucking thing to me in Collector Express. And now, on a...
Probably because there's a difference between a lighthearted stream where you're just having some fun and actually accusing somebody of something and then not clearing it up. It's almost like there's a difference in the discussions there and what the actual topic is. But of course, all this idiot can see is, well, they got banned and I got banned. That's exactly the same thing. This is commentary community levels of stupid.
On a much bigger level, granted, it's happening to them, and they're gonna fucking cry about it.
None of that's crying. That's just pointing out the inconsistencies in the community. You are crying about it. You giant little baby man.
It's not fair. It's stupid. Why would they care that we called them shills? Well, I don't know. How about the fact that I didn't even fucking call Articulated Ninja a shill, but because he got butthurt, and I guess it hit a little too close to home, he fucking acted that way. And then, without you, Laser Pants, having any fucking thing to even do with it, you fucking started banning people on behalf of little fucking plastic pervert Articulated Ninja.
Oh, he is big mad, isn't he? This dude's actually angry about this. But they're the immature ones, right? Well, you're actually angry about this. Look, I've had my scuffles in the 3POA. There's an absolute scumbag in that group who unironically has said he doesn't care if the children of leftists get touched. Like, frankly, I think Ryan needs to ban that freak. Bare minimum, I think he needs to be thrown into a pit of wild, hungry wolves. But this is what this idiot's crying about? Boo-hoo. They didn't sit there and call these guys kid touchers. If you actually get offended over being called a shill when you just are one, you have a severe lack of self-awareness. Like, frankly, you have a severe lack of self-awareness. They were called what they were. Ninja's not one. And you obviously were talking about Ninja. And if you weren't, you could have just used a name, you worthless little piece of garbage. It wouldn't have been that hard.
Yeah. It's fucking retarded, isn't it, Laser Pants? It's fucking stupid, isn't it, Laser Pants? It's fucking childish, isn't it, Laser Pants? Yeah, it fucking is. God damn.
You're so cool, dude.
Anyway, just thought I'd have a little fun, make this video.
Well, I just had a lot of fun making fun of your stupid little video. And if you're that butt mad about being criticized, about being people being called shills, there's a really easy way to remove yourself from that, and it involves what you had tattooed on your arm, putting it in your mouth and pulling the trigger until the clicking stops. Or is that too far for you? Is that too childish? Because I don't think it is. I don't think it is. So, we've had our fun. We've been at this for about 2 hours now. Huzzah. I didn't think this stream would last this long. So what I'm going to do before we go bye-bye, as always, because I do genuinely appreciate the kindness, we're going to read out some super chats. Frankly, I'm surprised there were any this stream. People usually don't care about the toy community drama. I need to cover more of it, though. Thy Tempest for $2. Drawing ratification fan arts while listening. Well, I don't know what that is, but neat. Digistar for $2. Imagine being butthurt about toys for that long. True. Thy Tempest for another $2. Do it, bounce, and or jig. I don't know what that's in relation to, and I don't think I need to know. Digital Sketch for $10. Imagine having this much energy and free time to be that butthurt about plastic. I'd rather be shiny hunting Pokemon or building a model kit. True. Raccoon for $2. Lio can read me a bedtime story tonight. No, thank you. JK. Digistar for $2. Hasbro Senpai will never notice you, Kenny. True. Prince Piplup the Third for $2. Drop your favorite ice cream gang. Well, I hope they did. Digital Sketch for $10. Fragile masculinity is one heck of a drug. Yes, it is. But fragile masculinity is just something people are lying to you about. Truly, and I will show you why. I'm going to debunk the claim of fragile masculinity. I'm going to debunk it right now. Let me just open my Sigma male image here and then put it on screen for you. Right? Gonna do this real quick. Toxic masculinity is a myth created by women to stop you from becoming Vegeta. I mean, I don't know if I want to have a widow's peak and a losing streak, but anyways. Alright, back to it. Toby for $5. Man, I miss watching Gumball. I watched that a lot after school. Well, there is a new season out, and it is fun. Digital sketch for $10. I see so many people whining and complaining about Pokemon. I just shrug and go back to playing and getting toys. True. Alright, so that's it for the Stram tonight. That's it. So, thank you all for joining me. You guys should join the server. We have events this week. But I'll catch you guys next time. Don't be pussies like these guys. Have a good evening.
Miss the super androids that fly on wings of silver and fight with nerves of steel. The mighty Silverhawks.
Afternoons at 4.
Thundercats! Ho! Thunder excitement is flying at you this fall when the Thundercats tear into action.
Let's cut those mutants down to size.
Get ready to strike a blow for justice this fall with the mighty Thundercats.
Lupin! Lupin! That man is a notorious thief who works all over the world!
Let's go meet this treasure that's soon to be ours.
Don't say that I didn't warn you. You can't fool me! You're planning something again!
Jeez, Pops, can't get anything past you.
He'll steal your heart, and then he's coming for everything else. Lupin the Third, premiering next Saturday night at 2.
Take it off. That'll be my pleasure!
Only Toonami on a...
Beast Wars Second! 最大の敵がついに目覚めた。ライオンコンボイ変身！新司令官の登場だ。ガルバトロントランスフォーム。破壊大帝驚異の三段変形。ライオン台風。史上最大の対決に君も参加せよ。だからトランスフォーマービーストウォーズ。
If one is born a man, at least once in his life, he will dream of becoming the strongest man alive.
Are you surprised at all? This is Orochi-style karate.
That's it, baby. Come straight for me.
Your training has paid off most impressively. I'd be happy to reward you now for all the progress you've made. He could never equal your What an adorable little playground you have here.
Rocky the Grappler.
You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cats. Name, automatic cement launcher. Function, launches pre-mixed fast-drying cement at the rate of 5,000 GPM, glots per minute. Very effective at freezing monsters right in their tracks. Ending transmission. You have accessed the secret files of the SWAT Cats. Name, Jake Clausen. Occupation, garage mechanic. Alias, Razor. Real job, SWAT Cat. Designs gadgets to capture bad guys. Goal, protection of Mega Cat City. Favorite expression, bingo. Ending transmission.
Meet St. Canard's Most Wanted.
Eat wanted, Starkling!
There's Megavolt, criminal circuit breaker.
It's playtime!
Quacker Jack, fiendish felon. Bushroot, experiment gone haywire.
I'm really not sinister, just misunderstood.
And diabolical evildoer Negaduck.
A rotten kind of guy!
And only one superhero can stop them.
The original, Mr. Fix-It! Get him!
Darkwing Duck.
A new Optimus Prime is here.
I'll transform Optimus! Power Master Optimus Prime, greatest leader of his time.
It's great to be back.
Now, Optimus Prime is back as a Power Master. He only transforms when his Nebulon becomes his engine.
Power Master Optimus Prime. Look, Optimus is transforming into a super robot. Power Master Transformers. They've got the power to surprise.
The Earth lies shattered and broken. A ruined wasteland that is now struggling to sustain life. Humanity is near the end after a devastating global meltdown. The oceans have been boiled away in nuclear fire. The land is charred and disfigured, saturated with deadly toxins. Life is a nightmarish struggle. The radiation levels have created hideous, mutated human savages. Mentally deranged, they roam in search of food and water. Gruesome violence brings terrible death to those who encounter these murderous mutants. It is an orgy of chaos, madness on a global scale. Savagery knows no limits. There are no nations, no laws, no order. In this grim reality, the forces of good and evil are once more preparing to fight for the future of mankind. Far, far away, a star shines out from the blackness of space. A beacon for the lost, a symbol of hope, an unfailing comfort to those on a journey. Known as the North Star, it has, through the ages, meant many things to many men. Under this eternal light walks the namesake of this star, a man of power and purity. A living beacon of hope, destined to bring light into the darkness. He is a feared man, spoken of in hushed tones. A legendary fighter, able to call on secret powers. Violence is met with worse violence as Ken destroys the forces of his evil half-brother. Heads roll, bodies fall, and the earth runs red as Ken draws ever nearer to Shin's stronghold in the city of the Southern Cross. The scene is set for an epic struggle between good and evil. What Shin started cannot be stopped. Many will die trying. Many will run. But there is only one Fist of the North Star.